And welcome to another episode of the Rorschach Test Podcast. I am your host, Tyrell James. Today I got a special guest, Bruce Jenkins. What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, brother. What's going on?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Hanging in there. I had
I like the setup. I like the setup, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I had a time trying to get this stuff together, man. I was frazzled. It was crazy. I usually try to meditate before these podcasts just so I can kind of get my mind together. And then as I was meditating, I realized that I had a whole bunch of things that I needed to do and then messed up all of my meditating. So let's see how this goes. But it's cool. I work better under pressure. So, but all right, man. So basically, what we do with this Rorschach Test podcast is I am going to put a group of pictures up, these Rorschach tests, and I'm going to ask you what it is that you see. And based off of what you say that you see, I will connect it to what it is that you do and who you are.
Got it.
So first, let's just tell everybody exactly who you are. Who is Bruce Jenkins and everything that you have going on, all of your businesses.
Got it. So first of all, I want to say thank you for having me on this podcast. I think this is our second time doing this, man, and just really like what you're doing. So my name is Bruce Jenkins. I am the CEO of BJ3 Sports and Fitness LLC. We have been in business since 2014. We specialize in HIIT and metabolic training for adults and kids. We also specialize in individual training for basketball, all different kinds of sports. We do group training. We do individual training. Right now, we've been doing very well with online training, which has been a very big success with the pandemic right now. So that's been going very well. Also, I have a business called BJ3 Protective Services, which is a security company where I started about a year ago. And we're just getting that up and running. That specializes in commercial security, personal protection, executive security, and so on and so on. So those are two of the business that we have going right now with BJ3, which is going very well.
Cool. Sounds good. Okay. All right. So I think that you have some good businesses that could probably help me connect what you see on these Rorschach tests, but we'll see what happens.
Got it.
So all right, I'm going to start with this first picture here. I want you to tell me exactly what it is that you see.
I see the Jay-Z emblem on from his album.
Which album?
Which album was that?
Is that the one that had the Rorschach on it?
Huh?
Well, hold on. Was that the Rorschach? No, that was a book, I believe, that he had a Rorschach test on. Matter of fact, I think I got the book behind me.
Yeah, that's like the emblem from his album. Or I kind of see like the anatomy of a person's body, like the skeletal system, like the ribs, the liver, and things of that nature.
Okay. All right. You actually made that pretty easy for me because, that's. I'm sorry. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm having a little issue
I made
trying
it easy for you on the first one.
What'd you say?
I made it easy for you on the first one.
Yeah. Well, not with the whole Jay-Z album cover.
Right.
Are you sure it wasn't the book cover? Because I actually have that book right here.
Wow.
And it's a Rorschach test.
I didn't know about the book.
Really? Yeah, it's called Jay-Z Decoded.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what album that was that.
And what is that emblem about? What does it represent?
I can't remember his connection with the book. I got that book a few years ago, so I can't remember his connection with that particular Rorschach test and the book. Okay. Probably because it's called Decoded. And that's pretty much what you're doing with these Rorschach tests. You got to decode them. So but you said the ribs and the skeletal system. I mean, you are a personal trainer, so that's what you do. You work with these things on strengthening all of those things, the skeletal system, the muscles,
Right.
there are a lot of people, because I'm a personal trainer as well.
Yeah.
We've spoken about that. So um, what I found is interesting. I've had a lot of people coming to me lately who have been having skeletal issues,
Hmm.
and some of them, of course, they want to lose weight, they want to get in shape, but they have a particular focus too. They're focusing on certain bones, bone structure and things that are just getting weak. Whatever. Are you encountering that as well?
Yeah. So when we get into the assessment and talking about medical history,
Hmm.
those types of things come up. And I'm glad they come up because that allows me to better assess and come up with with an effective plan to help them reach their goals.
Hmm.
So yeah, you got to know that medical history, and a lot of the corrective exercises that you can do can help with those issues. So that's why you have to know that medical history.
Okay. I think I was asking specifically, like, recently,
Mhm.
has there been like a lot of people that have been complaining about
Medical
skeletal
history?
issues?
No, no,
Yeah.
no, me, not for
Okay.
me.
Okay. Yeah. I just it's just weird that it's been happening. I don't know if it had something to do with maybe a bunch of inactivity due to the pandemic. I don't know. I'm just trying to put two and two together. But I think like my last three clients that have come to me have said, specifically they're having skeletal issues. And then there's a group of ladies that I train as well, and a few of them have said the same thing to me. So
So specifically, what parts of the body you talking about? The spine? You talking about?
it wasn't necessarily spine, but the back. There are issues with the back. Some
Yeah,
people is
definitely.
knees. One person, actually, I spoke to a woman today, and she just said her doctor said her bones are brittle.
Yeah.
That's it. They did. It wasn't even just one. It's a few. So
Well,
I don't know.
some of that's hereditary, and some of that's nutrition. Some of that's a lot of different things.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And those were the obvious answers. I think I was trying to just wondering if there was any connection to inactivity in the pandemic, people just sitting around doing nothing.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. Okay. All right. So um let's get into another test. Let's get to another test. All right, what you see here?
I see a bird. Um, I'm thinking like that's the first thing I thought about is like an eagle, maybe.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's what I see.
Okay, I normally say what I see on these Rorschach tests too. I forgot to do it on the last one. I see a bird as well. But I see like the face. It's like the armor that the knights
Right.
wear.
Right.
And the wings of the bird remind me of man, I cannot think of what that bird is. I don't know. It's escaping me right now, but it reminds me of a particular bird.
Hmm.
But yeah, it looks like a knight's helmet. Um, and actually, now that I'm looking at it even more, because this is my first time really examining this one. This one, it also looks like um a somebody. So if you look in the middle, right under where the knight's helmet is, it looks like
Hmm.
somebody has his hands together, his elbows are out, and maybe he's holding a sword, but he's holding it with both hands.
Right.
So I don't know if you can see that, but um my my imagination can run sometimes. So
Yep.
okay, so but you said you saw an eagle.
Yeah.
You saw an eagle. Okay. All right. So eagles, they fly. There's this sense of freedom. The eagles are a symbol of freedom. Um,
Hmm.
so let me see here. When you are training people, when you're
Hmm.
training people, um, they come to you because essentially they are dealing with some sort of I'm trying to do this without reaching, but I
Yeah.
may have to reach a little bit to get to where I'm going.
Hmm.
So these people, they essentially come to you, they feel as if they are imprisoned in some way. They're being
Hmm.
held captive by weight gain, by um, poor nutrition,
Right.
inactivity, lack of focusness, lack of motivation, lack of inspiration.
Motivation.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They come. So and this is some sort of some sort of a prison for them. It's holding them captive and keeping them from what it is they're trying to achieve. But once
Hmm.
they come to you and then you start training them, there is this sense of freedom. They're freed from all of those things.
Yeah.
Speak a little bit about that, about how, when your clients start seeing results, just the
Yeah.
way that they start feeling.
Man, that's the best aspect of being a trainer is just when you get a text message or a phone call and you know what their history is and you know what their goal was. And when they reach that goal, it's amazing because it's not easy. A lot of the ads and, YouTube clips and social media posts that you see, they make it look real easy,
Yeah, they do.
but it's really not. Once you get down to the science of it,
Mhm.
um, it's really not easy. So like when people get that breakthrough and really reach their goals, that's the best feeling in the world. Like you can't put a price on it.
Right.
And it's what really keeps me getting up every morning and really like, spending time with my clients, educating in them and, showing them the correct form and, how long it will take for, a certain goal to be reached, frequency and intensity, all these different words that we throw out there. But when a client reaches their goal, man, it's like it's this is the best feeling in the world, best
Yeah,
feeling in the world, man. And
it
that's what
is.
every great trainer wants is for that client to reach their goal. But not only that, I really preach lifestyle.
Mhm.
So there are a lot of different goals in a journey of a lifestyle. So every time they reach a goal, whether it be they walked 3 days out of the week, we focus a lot on small wins.
Mhm.
Um, it could be, not eating 3 bowls of ice cream a week and only eating 1 bowl of ice cream. That's a huge win
Right.
for a
Mhm.
lot of people. Or just getting up in the morning and walking in the morning for 15 minutes. And now after 2 months, now they're walking every day. So those are huge wins. And
Mhm.
that's what it's all about when you talk about being a trainer, is educating people and helping them, stay motivated.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I tell my clients all the time, we celebrate all victories. I don't care how big it is, and I don't care
Definitely.
how small that they believe it is. A victory is a victory. If
Definitely.
you were on the treadmill for 10 minutes today and tomorrow is 10 minutes and 5 seconds, you celebrate those 5 seconds.
Yes, sir.
So yeah. Yep. So and that's important. It's important because a lot of people don't, for a lot of people, they think about the physical aspect and they don't realize how much thinking about the physical aspect is weighing on them mentally. And
Yeah.
essentially, that mental part is what's stopping them from getting there and doing it.
Right.
All you got to do is show up. You're there, you might as well do it.
It's
But
like 85, 90% mental, man.
yeah, yeah, it is. It
It's
is.
that battle in your mind.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Definitely. Um, so I'm gonna hold on to that question. I'm gonna come back. I got another question about your clients.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna come back to that in a second. I want to do another test here.
Got it.
All right. Yo, what happened? Can you see it, Bruce?
Yep. Um, I see a face in the middle, and
Hmm.
I see first thing I thought about was blood. Um, on the side of her face. I don't know why I see blood, but that's what I see. So I see a face in the middle, and I see blood on the sides.
Okay. I see a face in the middle as well. I didn't see blood until you said that. Now I see
Hmm.
blood. Initially what I saw was, it looks like, it's gonna sound funny, but it looks like two baby chickens on both sides of the face.
Perspective is an amazing thing, man.
It really is. It really is. And that's why I love these tests, because You know, you have two people can look at the exact same thing and see two
See something
completely
totally different.
right. Yeah, but that's life. That's how life is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely see the face.
Yeah.
And I see the blood. I see the blood as well. So you see this face, the face is in between blood. Tell me this. Tell me this. Someone pull it back up. The face, the facial expression. What do you see in the facial expression?
I see frustration and just like screaming. I see that she's screaming.
Okay.
By the way,
Frustration.
it looks like a she.
Right. Yes. I see that as well. Okay. Frustration, screaming, screaming like maybe out of fear
Out of
or just out
kind
of
of
frustration.
kind of like, oh my God, like she's being attacked or something.
Okay. All right. Cool. So she's being attacked. You do security, or you own a security team.
Right.
So, all right, that's the connection there. So we have the woman, you know, who's being attacked. She is, and there's blood, but your job essentially is to protect her from any of that blood.
Right.
I mean, we're assuming that that's her blood. So your job and your company's job is to protect people. So let's talk a little bit about that. About
Mhm.
so and what's the name of the security part? Is that still BJ3
Yep.
security?
BJ3.
Okay,
Yep.
okay, okay. So just talk to me a little bit about that.
So, in terms of protection, a lot of people think it's about size. A lot of
Mhm.
people think it's about how many years you've been maybe a police officer or whatever the case may be. A lot of times, people in protection have no background in security or anything like that. But it's all about having the instincts. It's all about having the instincts and the the know-how, if you will, and the want to learn the craft. Um, your presence is key. Being observant is key, and you just have to have that presence about you that just it just exudes your confidence and your knowing what's going on in the moment. So as far as that picture is concerned, that's the face we don't want to see. We do all our work before we start the job, all our preparation, assessments that we do. Those are all the things that we do so that you don't see those face, you don't see that face from one of our clients, or you don't see any blood or anybody getting hurt. Because the number one thing is the safety of our client.
Right.
So yeah, that's the connection between that picture and what we do.
Have you ever had any clients that you feel is too much of a risk to try to protect them because you don't trust
Yeah.
what they will do, or maybe people in their entourage would do?
Yeah. I tend to stay away from like rappers, like that type of crowd. And no
Uh-huh.
disrespect to rappers, like I got a whole catalog of music when it comes to rap, but
Right.
it's a high risk. And
Right.
we talk about assessment. When you do risk assessments, you have to do a risk assessment, and you have to do that because you have to measure the risk of is it really worth you doing the job?
Right. Mhm.
Police officers, protection, security, everybody wants to go home at the end of the night.
Mhm.
So that's what the risk assessment is all about. And you have to have the right amount of intel, information on the job. And if you don't have those things, not a good job.
Right.
You don't want to take that job. So yeah, that's real big.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. There are, I believe, there are certain people, especially in the rap world,
Yeah,
where in certain cases, you have people who need to be protected from other
yeah,
people. But
yeah.
then sometimes I feel that there's certain artists who security is there to protect everybody else from them.
Exactly, exactly.
And yeah, and those are the type of people those that risk, yeah, that's high. That's high,
High
because
risk, man.
yeah, yeah, like I know if I did security for anybody like that, if I did it, you'd have to pay me a lot of money. A
No, not
lot.
only that, it's all about the community that you're going into.
Right.
You're going
Yeah.
into a high risk, situation,
Mm-hmm.
and you're talking about looking at the exits and the amount of time it would take for you to leave a venue, or
Mm-hmm.
is everything up to date? Cameras, the escape exits, all those different type of things. It's not a good move.
Right.
Not a good move.
Yeah.
It's almost like
Yeah.
suicide. It's almost like suicide.
Right.
You can let your pride get in the way of making that decision on whether or not you want to take that job, but you gotta really take it serious, because
Mm-hmm.
with the climate right now, security is at a high risk right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought up that word pride. I got a question about that, but
Hmm.
I'm going to whatever you see on this next Rorschach test, I'm going to try to link it to security, and I'm going to try to link it to that word pride.
Hmm.
To security, and I'm going to try to link it to that word pride.
Hmm.
Um, so this is this is going to be kind of difficult because now I'm getting even more and more specific, and you haven't even seen the picture yet. So, but
Yeah.
I'm going to try to link it to security and to that word pride. Okay. So,
Hmm.
all right, here
I
we
still gotta
go.
tell you what I see.
Oh, say that again.
I'm still telling you what I see.
Yeah, yeah, for this one. Yep, yep.
Hmm. I see a man's face with his hair out to the side, and I see blotches of ink on his face and around his face.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. You made this one difficult. Um, I see. Man, I this one's tough. I don't know what I see. I think I do see the face, but I see a mustache. I see like
Yeah.
that white part looks like a thick mustache, and then under it looks like a black goatee. Um,
Yeah. It's like
the
an older
other,
man's face. It's an older man's face.
yeah, yeah, and then there's this the I do see the ink blots all over the face, whatever. Okay, so an older man's face, a bunch of ink blots all over his face. Let's see. How can I make this connection?
Yeah.
Older men, a lot of times there's wisdom when it comes to somebody who's older. Okay. Um, the ink blots all over his face. These could be so ink blots are smudges. Smudges are mistakes. Wisdom a lot of times comes from mistakes. Okay.
Hmm.
So when it comes to security,
Hmm.
you can't afford to make mistakes.
No.
But you also have to have enough wisdom to know that you cannot let pride get in the way.
Right.
So when you are doing security and when the people around you, when you're doing security, how hard is it sometimes if somebody is getting out of line because you got to struggle with, I mean, you're still a man.
Yeah.
You're still a man. Even though you're doing your job, you're still a man. How hard is that sometimes to separate yourself from that pride because you understand that there's a job that needs to be done?
It's funny, man. I've been doing this for so long, and I've worked in so many different environments. The biggest environment that helped me was working corrections. So I'm able to read if a situation is going to get to the point where I have to put my hands on somebody, you know?
Hmm. Right.
Um, and 9 times out of 10, or eight, maybe eight, guys don't really want to get into you. They just want to put on a show,
Right.
And if they're at a 10 and they can get you to a 10, then you got a problem. But if they're at a 10 and you can stay on a 6, a 5 or 6,
Hmm.
then you don't have too much to worry about unless they just put their hands on you. But you can tell by their body language, you can tell by their eye contact, you can tell
Hmm.
by their stance if they're trying to make a move. And
Hmm.
once you assess all those different things and you're looking around to see if he's got any friends or anything like that,
Hmm.
from being from the streets, man, you can tell when somebody's about to do something. You can just
Hmm.
feel it. So it comes with experience. It really comes with experience. And it comes with just like you have to have a calm head at all times, even if you know you're about to get get into it with somebody, you still got to stay calm the whole time, because
Right.
once you take yourself out of that emotional box, somebody's going to get hurt, and it could be you. You know, and you
Right.
have to know that going into this business that you can get hurt. You got to know that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, you're not Superman. You can't beat everybody.
Right. I was listening to a guy, this was years ago. I remember I was a kid. I remember this guy, he was teaching a self-defense class, and I was watching. It was like a VHS tape, right? So I'm watching it, and the very first thing the guy said was, if he said, right, I'm teaching you self-defense, I'm teaching you how to protect yourself. However, if you get into a situation where someone is attacking you, expect to get hurt.
Yeah. In some
And
form,
say that again.
in some form or fashion, you could possibly hurt something. It might not be at a level 10, but you're gonna hurt something.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. And but I always held on to that, and it actually changed the way I approach situations, because I just, any fight I expected to get hurt, even if I
Hmm.
didn't get hurt, but I just expected to get hurt. I box. I expect to get hurt. I mean, it's weird, because when we're talking about boxing, it seems it's a different type of pain.
Right.
Um, and but it's still pain nonetheless.
Yeah.
So, but you expect it, and then I mean, especially with boxing, sometimes I welcome it
Yeah.
because I know it does something to me. Something kicks in.
But
But
most of the time, when somebody has a background in boxing, jiu-jitsu, Krav Maga, anything like that, they're not. Then most of the time, they're not going to really, they're not going to really be the aggressor, because
right,
they know what they possess. It's when you got a guy who just is just trying to show off in front of the girl or the crowd,
hmm,
and 9 times out of 10, they're just going to rely on their strength. That's when it's an easy win if you know how to use your body and maneuver,
right, yeah,
and use their force against them.
hmm,
All
yeah,
you gotta do is stay calm and just pinpoint them.
right. And the thing is, when you become a fighter, whether it's boxing, Krav Maga, any of these things, you learn discipline. There's discipline that comes with that. I've heard people
Right.
say that they didn't want their children taking any type of martial arts or boxing or anything like that, because they feel that it teaches aggression. Now,
Yeah.
understanding it does the opposite.
Because the
It does
opposite.
not teach aggression. It teaches you to channel that aggression. It
Yep.
teaches you discipline. It teaches you how to remain calm. It teaches you how to remove those emotions and to put pride to the side.
Exactly.
Yeah, it teaches you all those things, because, like you said, you know what you can do to somebody.
That's it.
So, so it's a lot easier to walk away. And the
And
thing is,
the thing about it is, you're really trying, when it comes to security and protection, you're trying to see it before it gets to that point. Like if you're walking with a person and you see something about to get kind of crazy,
mhm,
you're trying to avoid it. You're not trying to go to it. You're
right,
trying to avoid and keep that person out of harm's way. So
hmm,
that's the biggest thing is being proactive and not reactive.
right,
You know, that's the biggest thing that you want to do. That's why you have a risk assessment. If this happens, this is what happens. If this happens, this is what we're going to do in this situation. You know,
hmm,
a perfect example. I think I was driving for Lizzo. I was
hmm,
driving for Lizzo. We were in Baltimore. So you could probably in your mind already think about, when you think about Baltimore, you already know, okay, it probably got a little sticky. But what happened
hmm,
was, we were driving out of the away from the venue, right?
hmm,
And people were trying to get her autograph, like knocking on the window, banging on the window, trying to get her autograph. So that's cool. We expected that, right? But
hmm,
what we didn't expect, there was a fire station right next door. And as we're coming out, trying to get through the crowd and the traffic, the fire truck is coming.
mm,
The fire truck is coming from behind us and trying to get through the crowd.
hmm,
So I had to immediately, as soon as I saw it, I had to react and get out of there.
right,
So like I said, when it comes to instincts, if
hmm,
you panic, like the security was already in the truck, I was the driver, And if you know anything about protection, your first job when it comes to protection, it usually puts you as a driver because you learn so much about security just by being with clients and seeing how to maneuver with the car. So you always start out in the car. Like you don't start out as a protection, a protection person. Like you start out driving. And in on this day, I wasn't starting out, but I just had a job of being a driver. So the security guy was in the passenger seat. I was driving, and we were communicating while I'm driving, to get out of that situation. So that was one of those situations where you had to think quick on your feet, because if you're sitting too long, that's when something happens from the crowd.
Yeah,
you gotta protect that person in the back seat at all costs.
Right. And it's crazy. You got that type of crowd around you. You got to make sure you don't hit anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes.
There's so many different things that can happen, man.
Yeah, man. It's a very high pressure job too.
Oh man,
pressure job.
I love it though.
Yeah, I know you do.
The pressure, man.
Hey man, so did Lizzo have them pants on where her butt was out when you were?
She had what?
Them pants where her butt was out. Remember at the basketball?
Oh yeah, she was on stage. She was getting it in, man. She got it in. But I'm gonna tell you, man. Her music is amazing.
It is.
She can go to any genre.
Man, I was hearing 2 songs from her that I had no idea were hers, but I was hearing them for like probably 2-3 years, and I had no idea that it was her.
Exactly.
And I was like, wow, yeah, she really is super talented.
She's a beast.
Yeah, she really is. Yep.
Her dancers are dope too.
Yeah,
they're all down to earth. Everybody's cool. Yeah, that's a cool group.
That's cool. Yeah. And that's good, man. You don't like running into celebrities and they're jerks. They like, listen, you're a person just like me. Let's not do this.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right, man. All right, I want to put up another test. Here we go.
There's some type of deer or a buck. It's like a deer. You can see the antlers and everything. Yeah, that's a deer. I don't know what that is at the bottom. It could be his chest. And on the top of his head, it's like a demonic figure on the top of his head.
Yeah, I see that too.
Yeah, but mainly it's a deer though. I see a deer.
It looks like, what's that called, a Baphomet, I believe.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know the different kinds of,
So, all right, a deer. You said a buck. The Bucks. All right, I'm gonna go somewhere different with this one. All right, so the Bucks, it's a basketball team. You used to play basketball.
Here we go.
You used to play, man. Hey, didn't you play overseas too?
Yeah, I played for like 3 years.
Was it Spain?
I was in Uruguay. I was in Argentina. I was in Finland. I was in Luxembourg, and I was in Belgium.
Okay, so did that eventually lead you into doing personal training? Like, were you working with athletes?
Great question, man. So most athletes, when they finish, they love to be around other athletes or other, adults or kids that like to be around sports, right? So quite naturally, that's what I gravitated to. But what really gravitated me towards training was the off season and the preparation it took to get to where I was, like going overseas and playing college basketball. So I always had a love for anatomy, science, and just the like I said, the preparation it takes to get your body to perform at a certain level. So I majored in fitness and wellness in college. So that was the connection right there. I knew I wanted to do that. So, that's where the humanity and physiology, exercise physiology, all that came into play. I just had a love for it. Now, I wish I would have stuck with it straight out of college. But I went into teaching. I taught phys ed first, so I did kind of stay in the same arena, but then I went into law enforcement. So now you're seeing the connection between security and fitness.
Right.
right? So they go hand in hand. Um, you got to stay fit in order to be effective at what you do in security. And in security and fitness, you got to have the mental strength to you know, deal with the different obstacles and rigorous physical activity that comes with it. So they go hand in hand, and it's crazy. Most people only have one passion. They're both my passion, both of them. I could do it for free.
Really?
I could do it for free. Matter
When
of
I
fact,
start traveling,
I did it for free for 8 years.
really? Yeah.
Yep,
When I start traveling, I'm gonna keep that in mind, Bruce. So.
no doubt. Sound good. Sound good, man.
Yeah, but you know what though? I say that jokingly, but I actually do mean that. Like I was, I know you spoke to my best friend Gladiator. You all have spoken about security, and of course, I would love to have him doing security for me as well. But the thing is, a lot of times, if we're traveling, we're probably handling business together. So
Mm.
people are going to look at him thinking he's security when he's actually one of the people that's, actually handling the business. But I was like, all right, cool. I mean, he has, his team or whatever. But I mean, we may need to travel with multiple teams or whatever, depending on what we have, because we have the music thing. We got then I'm in acting. I got a bunch of different things going on. But when it's time to start traveling, when I do need a security team, I'm coming straight to you.
Holler at me. Let me
Yeah.
know.
And don't worry, I'm not gonna make you do it for free. No, you're getting paid. You're getting paid.
Yeah,
I
my
believe
man.
people need to get paid. So
Yes, sir.
all right, man. I got another picture here that I'm gonna put up. I want you to tell me what you see and how you feel about this, okay?
All right.
And this is going to be connected more to the whole personal training thing, okay?
Mhm. How ironic. So you want to know what I see?
Yeah.
I see reality. I see that's the myth or the misconception is that trainers and people who work in fitness facilities don't eat pizza, don't eat chicken, don't eat chips. Not the case, man. People, like, I teach balance. So, you know, for you to think that trainers don't eat things that they like every now and then, it's not the case. Now you shouldn't eat it every day.
Right.
But I tell my clients all the time. I sometimes I have a pizza, sometimes I have a burger. You know, it's cool. But you know, six to 5 days out of the week, I'm training and I'm eating healthy.
Right.
You know, so every now and then I might grab a soda or grab a piece of pizza. You know, but it's also about moderation. You know,
Yes.
so in that picture, I see balance. I
Mhm.
see balance. I see fun, enjoying life. You know.
Mhm. That's actually funny that you say that. I've spoken to other trainers
Hmm.
and we kind of laugh at that, but that's a different perspective.
Yeah.
Um, and I appreciate that perspective. When I
Yeah.
first saw that, I saw it. It was, to me, it was a joke because people are here to get in shape, but then there's this pizza, and it's like, okay, we're working against what we're trying to accomplish here.
Right.
But you offered a very real perspective, because that is the case. We do enjoy. I love pizza. I'm having a burger tonight for dinner.
Yeah.
But being you said that word moderation, I use that word with all of my clients constantly. I tell them,
Yeah.
you do not deprive yourself of the things that you want, but it has to be in moderation.
Yeah.
You can't overdo it. So but but that's I honestly, to be honest with you, Bruce, I expected a different reaction from you when I put that up there, although we were going
Yeah.
to laugh at Planet Fitness together.
Right.
But you did give a very real perspective, and it changed. I mean, really, it changed the way I see that, because that's real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that is definitely real. I have you experienced where 'cause I know with me, I've had some clients where they will they get so focused that they don't want to slow down. They start seeing the results and they don't want to slow down. So
Yeah.
they're very strict with their eating. And I tell them it's okay to have, I call them treat days. People call them cheat days. I don't like saying the word cheat because cheat has a negative connotation. That's saying that's implying that you're doing something wrong. So I tell them, no, they're treat days because you earned this. You deserve this. You have worked out. You have eaten the way you're supposed to. So you have allowed the space for you to treat yourself.
Yep.
But have you experienced like some clients where they just don't want to break it because they're afraid of going backwards?
Yes. That's why balance and moderation is so key. You have to keep teaching it and teaching it and teaching it, because you have to understand if a person has been dealing with obesity for a long period of time, and it's been hard for them to break out of that, and then they finally do it, they don't want to go back to that. So what they do is they go from one extreme to the next.
Right.
And that can be a lot of pressure mentally, you know. So what they'll do is, if they lose the weight, they'll keep on losing the weight until it becomes unhealthy.
Right.
Right. So you talk about BMI, body mass index. You talk about having the right amount of macronutrients, which is, you know, carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Right. But you got to have the right amount of those three components in order for your body to perform at a certain level, right? So, but when people start to think about the extreme of being overweight, they don't care about any of that. They don't care about that. They care about staying on the other side, which is being, you know, on the other side of being, you know, being obese. So if that means they're too skinny, if that means they're, you know, they don't look proportioned, then so be it. But I'm not going back to losing weight. So that might mean under eating, which we know you're a trainer as well. You know, under eating can lead you back to being, you know, overweight.
Exactly.
You know, because your body starts to feed off of that food that you've already eaten in the past, right? So, yeah, that's a big one, man.
And you slow your metabolism down.
Yes.
Yeah. We may need to go teach a class, man.
Man.
Because, you know, so much of this is education as well. It's not just like when I'm training people, I'm telling them why we're doing certain things. I want them to understand everything. I'm not just going to throw you out there and say, hey, just do this. I need you to understand why you're doing it.
Exactly.
Let me ask you this. I already have a feeling I know where you're going to go with this, but because you are a trainer, and I don't hear trainers. Well, let me just say this. How do you feel about keto?
I don't really believe in diets, man.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you. I just believe in healthy eating in moderation. And there's no knock on keto and, you know, all these different diets. They do work for certain people. They do. I've seen people have good results. But are you going to do a keto for the rest of your life?
Yeah, it's not sustainable.
Is, you know, are you going to sustain? How long are you going to sustain that for? So that's why I teach healthy lifestyle. What you should be eating, what you shouldn't be eating, what time, how much, portion control, eating, you know, too close to the time that you go to bed at night, which we know is not good. So that's what I teach. I teach healthy lifestyle, man. You know, fruits, vegetables, all of those different things. You can still, I mean, pescatarians, you know, vegetarians, which is all of that's fine. But 9 times out of 10, people don't stick with it for the duration, you know, for the long haul.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't knock it, but I teach healthy lifestyle. I don't teach that. I don't teach diets.
So I knock it, and but you know, when I speak to trainers, the trainers, they pretty much give that response.
Yeah.
Because I am also a nutritionist and a health coach.
Sweet.
I've done a lot of research on a lot of things. So I really started studying keto and the effects that it has on the body.
Right.
And it is really, really unhealthy. Will you drop the weight? Absolutely. Will you drop it fast? Absolutely. But
absolutely.
the health risks that come with it, I'm telling you, if you try to do this for a long time, it gets bad. It gets really, really bad because the body is not. And you know what? I'm glad you said you just believe in healthy eating and not diets.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I explain to people too. They say, I'm going to go on a diet. I'm going to go on a diet. I'm like, well, listen, first of all, the diet, your diet is however you eat.
Right.
So it's not necessarily going on a diet. However you eat, that's your diet.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't want to do anything where you are depriving your body of anything, because your body's going to react to it.
Yep.
And our bodies, we need carbs. We need carbs. We need that fuel. And not only that, well, we need healthy carbs. We got to be specific about that.
Right.
We need healthy carbs. I don't want people to say, oh, they said that we need French fries. No, we don't. Not saying that. You know, but healthy carbs. I don't want to get too far off track here. I don't want this to turn into a health lecture from us. But you know, I know we can do that all day. But
we can get into it.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. That'll be another podcast for another day.
Right.
Well, first I want to. All right, so look, I play this game with some of my guests called Probably Not, But What If.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so without putting any names out there,
mm-hmm.
let's say that there is a certain, we'll say certain president, whether recently, now.
I know where you're going with that.
Okay. Let's say that this president, and let's say that you don't particularly care for this president. Probably not, but what if this president came to you and said, hey, I need you to protect me?
Mm-hmm.
Would you do it?
Probably not.
Why not?
Ah, boy. When I think about protecting somebody, I'm real big on if I respect the person or respect what they stand for.
Gotcha.
And also, you're talking about risk assessment. You know, that's high risk. You know, with his last term, you know, he had a lot of enemies. So you're putting yourself out there, and I got a family now, so it's not really worth it. It's not really worth it. It's not worth the money.
Yeah.
And then you got to think about, you know, you having that person on your resume is protecting, and this kind of, you know, not too good of a thing on your resume, you know.
Right. Yeah.
I
get it, man. All right. Well, look, we are about to wrap up. But before we do, I want you to just let everybody know where they can find you, if you want them to find you. But yeah, just give them everything, man. Any websites that you got, email addresses. If you got a phone number that you want to put out there, anything, just let them know how they can get in contact with you.
So you can reach me at bj3sportsandfitness.com. That's my website. You can also reach me on IG at bj3sports. You can reach me at Facebook at bj3 Sports and Fitness LLC. I also have a personal page at Bruce Jenkins. So that's my fitness side. As far as security is concerned, you can meet me at bj3 protection services at gmail.com. Like I said, we do personal protection, we do commercial protection, and you know, all kinds of security. So check us out as far as that concerned. Also IG, bj3 protection services on IG. And that's it, man. That's it.
Okay, sounds good. All right, man. So look, before we get out of here, I have one more picture that I'm gonna put up here, and I want you to tell me exactly what it is that you see. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
This is the greatest podcast ever.
And I couldn't agree more.
This is what it is, man.
Thank you, Bruce, man. I appreciate your time, man. I really do.
No problem. Thank you for the invite, man.
No problem, man.